Hey 4 a.m. football fans. I hope you enjoyed a great weekend of games. My name is Bryce, and this is the first installment of Bryce's Keeper Corner. I'd like to come on once every week, maybe every other week, and talk about what is probably the most underrated position on the field, the goalkeeper. I played goalkeeper through various levels for about 16 years of my life. And my goal on this channel is to talk about keeper news, keeper transfers, etc., and really try to highlight great keeper play. For this episode, initially I wanted to talk, about the league as a whole and different keeper situations around the Premier League and chat about who's maybe primed to have a good season this year, the people like Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale, who I think are really primed to have great seasons, and maybe those who are set up for a little bit more failure. However, that all kind of got washed away during the later of the Sunday games because my friend who watches soccer with me sent me this tweet from Alexi Lalas. So initially the tweet is, goalkeepers are protected at the slightest contact from a field player, but goalkeepers are also allowed to destroy field players without coming close to the ball. It's a good gig. It does sort of read like someone who has maybe not ever really played the keeper position before and so doesn't understand the intricacies and how, difficult and dangerous it can be. I'm not saying it's life or death, but you're subject to a significantly more amount of in-air collisions on the ball, one-on-ones coming out, one-on-ones outside the box are dangerous. All of these things can, really take a toll on players. And so at first I saw that and I was a little bit like, just Alexi being Alexi, like this is not something completely unheard of. Like Alexi Lalas, kind of the king of bad takes on soccer. But after this, what really got my blood boiling was him doubling down on this. So Kyle Brent, you're a hero, by the way. Kyle Brent says, you've obviously never played the position. No player is more vulnerable than the goalkeeper. That I would say is probably on average true. Like nothing, I wouldn't say a goalkeeper is never more vulnerable than someone who's getting his legs taken out from behind on the slide tackle. Like that's probably the most vulnerable player on the field. But those are like very one-off situations. Those don't happen constantly. In general, aerials for the ball and one-on-ones with strikers really put the keeper in a lot of dangerous positions, and you can be really vulnerable to taking cleats to the chest, taking, heads to the chest, taking heads to the face, and also, not to mention, you're throwing your body, arms, everything in front of balls that are hit, 70, 60 miles an hour. Like these things are screaming in, and you got to get anything you can in front of them. You have to be really tough to play this position. And Alexi responds, stop whining and just save the ball. You get to use your hands. You can wear gloves. You can play into your 40s. You're protected like a Fabergé egg. And I lost it. Like, this is clearly, it really reads like someone, like if you've ever worked in hospitality or if you've ever worked in food service, you can always tell right off the bat when someone comes in by how they treat the waitstaff, whether or not they've actually ever worked in food service before. Like you can tell right away in that kind of stuff. And this totally reads like someone who just has a complete and utter failure to understand the intricacies of the goalkeeper position. So I saw this and it really got me mad. But before I wanted to talk about it with anybody, I did want to watch the play. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over the play and sort of see what is he talking about here? Why is he saying this? Like, what was even, because I wasn't watching the game currently. So what is the act that got him to respond like this? So that's what we're going to do right now. It's Leeds 0, Wolves 1. It's the 15th minute, and Leeds have a set piece here from about 35 yards out. Jose Sa is in the goal right here, clearly trying to get his wall in shape. He probably, he's probably already been on his corner, on his corner already, trying to dictate where the wall needs to sit so that he can protect his near post. So let's go ahead and watch. We'll watch it uncut first and see kind of like what happened. Sorry, I don't have any sound for this. Let's turn it on a little bit. All right. So my brain initially, I see this and I'm like, all right, it's a 50-50, you know, looks like Jose and Christensen, that's this Leeds player right here. Jose and Christensen both go up for the ball and they meet in midair. Christensen kind of wins it, but it's a 50-50 ball. Looks like Jose Sa gets a little bit on it and that's a wash. So that's not a penalty. And I was kind of like, what the heck, Alexi? Like that's never going to be a penalty. You're never going to get that call. But then I kind of watched it with a little bit more slow-mo. So let's let it play out. Let's find here. Hey everyone. So this next section got cut due to copyright claim from the PL, which is fine. Basically, I showed the entire clip without stops at any point. And the PL didn't like that. So I ended up having to cut this from the video. So it's gonna feel a little weird and cut out and maybe disjointed for a second here. I put a timestamped video in the description, so you can go ahead and watch it there for the time being. Sorry for the inconvenience. Jose Sa met him in the air. It's his box. He has the right to it. I see nothing wrong with it on its face. Now let's dive a little bit deeper here. They're going to go take a look at this. So here we are, right? The ball is coming in. It's a perfectly placed ball to the back post. Christensen's the only guy on Leeds who gets it. So you see Jose Sa is coming out. He sees it. He has seen Christensen on his left side, and he says, hey, like, oh, no one is marking that guy. He is completely open. Like, let's go back over here. Where is it? He is completely open right here. Like, there's not a single Wolves player is marking him, which is hilarious because they put a wall in for a ball like almost 40 yards out, a three-man, like looks like a three-man wall that dispersed. They're not marking a single person. We got 5 Wolves in the box marking 5 Leeds players, and Christensen is completely unmarked on the back post. So let's go back here. So this isn't a great angle. So Jose Sa, he's not looking at Christensen, right? He's clearly, his eyes are up at the ball. His eyes are up at the ball. So they go. So it's hard to tell from that end, but it kind of looks like Jose Sa didn't really get anything on the ball. And that makes this call a little bit tougher, but we'll keep it going. There's another camera angle after this that I want us to look at. So this one. So he's completely untouched. No Wolves player even sees him. They're marking 5 or marking 4 in here. That's already not great defense. Like, let's be honest. This isn't great defense by Wolves. Comes in. Jose Sa is coming out. His eyes are on the ball. This isn't malicious by any means. Like, Jose Sa is clearly not maliciously coming after Christensen. He's trying to make a play on the ball. I want to slow this down even more. So we're going to playback speed at 0.5. That doesn't look good for Jose Sa. I have to be honest. So let's watch it one more time. Let's watch it one more time at 5 speed here. Or at 0.5 speed. Christensen goes up. Sa comes up. Christensen gets it. That's hand to the head. Admittedly, I am biased for keepers. I will cape for keepers. Like, I usually, from my rule of thumb, is that on a ball in the box, it's keeper's box, and he has a right to make a play on any ball. When it comes to stuff like this, here's where I think, personally, the line in the sand should get drawn. If a keeper goes out to make a play on an aerial like this, with the ball up here, and gets anything on it, I'm talking anything, fingertips, a hand, the inside of your arm right here, anything that they can get on it, if they get any amount of touch to it, you can never call that a foul on the keeper. You just can't. You can't call that a foul on the keeper. But in that same vein, if the keeper does not get any hand or arm or leg or anything to the ball and then collides with a player, that has to be called a foul. It just has to. It's a keeper's box and he has a right to make a play on the ball, but he can't not make a play on the ball and come through the man and not get punished for that. It's a give and take with playing the keeper position. It's a very, I give Jose Sa, like, a little bit of leeway on this, only in the sense of that's a really hard decision to make, to come from your line to that's a 6-yard box, but that's probably 8 to 10 yards out on a blistering ball in from the Leeds player. That's a really hard snap-second decision that the keeper has to make. And Jose Sa made that decision, and I think it ended up being the wrong one. I think Jose Sa does better, really should do better to stay home here, to stay home on his line here, down here, and wait, because Christensen doesn't have a shot at goal. The only thing Christensen can maybe do is put a shot in on the back post, floating in, try to get Sa to go over his shoulder to get to it. That's a really hard thing to do for a defender on the back post from a ball whipped in that hard. Like, it has to be really, like, picture perfect, frame perfect header to get that done. And worst case scenario then, or, Christensen, like he's trying to do, puts it back into the field of play. Jose Sa is home, and then he can be prepared for whatever Leeds player is going to get the rebound and have a quick cat-like reflex save. I mean, preferably. So, at the end of the day, what I'm going to say is that Jose Sa should have been a foul here. You can't... The thing is if Jose Sa gets the ball and Christensen tries to make a play on the ball and comes through him late, you can easily argue that's a yellow card on Christensen, because you really can't hit the keeper late. However, Jose Sa, as we see right here, Jose Sa is just too late. He made the decision just 1 second too late, a half second too late. And if a defender makes a decision half second too late and hits a goalkeeper, that's a yellow card. It has to go the other way around, just the same. So that's sort of where I land on this whole situation. I think that Jose Sa definitely got away with one. It didn't end up mattering. Leeds still ended up getting 2 goals, getting the 3 points, and walking away from Ellen Road with a win. But it's tough. And I think the referee made the wrong decision here. So I hate doing this because I don't think he ever deserves it. But I'm actually going to have to say, I think he was out of line with this specific tweet, with the stop whining and just save the ball. But him here, I actually think he makes a fair point. I think Jose Sa did not get, or Jose Sa and Wolves, I guess, were not properly punished for this infraction. That was clearly, it wasn't clearly in game speed, of course, but if they had gone to VAR, I think that there's no reason that VAR should not have overturned this call and made it a penalty. I don't know if it went to VAR. It doesn't particularly look like it did. Or maybe it went to VAR and they're just waiting on the sideline. I mean, Christensen got clattered. He got clattered on this. And Jose Sa didn't get any of the ball. I just don't see how that can't be a penalty. Luckily, for Leeds, it ended up not really mattering. Christensen ended up being okay, so we're fine. But I think Alexi Lalas, while out of line, is correct in his assumption that this should have been a penalty. This is fair. Christensen, as I said earlier, Christensen comes late and Jose Sa gets the ball first. That's a yellow on Christensen. Christensen gets the ball first and Sa comes late on Christensen. Sa doesn't even get a foul on him. That seems pretty ridiculous and a double standard in this game. So that's all I wanted to talk about this week. I'm going to bring you some more keeper content, and make sure to like and subscribe. 4am football. We're going to be posting a lot more content. We're going to be posting a lot of shorts, And if you want to be notified about all that stuff, please give us a like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. I catch myself being biased for goalkeepers all the time. So if you disagree, leave it in the comments. Let us know. If you agree with me, leave it in the comments. Let us know and give a like on the video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.